advanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
NTV, turning on your world.
Your friend Manoa is a friend. Now this one is a brother, because we were rioters when we were young. We were in the same residence as young men and women. So I know him before he became an ambassador or a big man. But right now, I respect you, Mr. Ambassador. I know you are a retired ambassador, but we need you in the field quickly. You better jig around a little bit. Vincent will show you that part of it. This is a family gathering. So I'll hand over to Dr. Vincent Ogutu.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome all of you very warmly to Strathmore University. I know that some of you are here physically, and thank you for coming. We've got a big group that is attending this online, and we also have this going out on national television live. So for all of you who are here, thank you very much for joining us. We have distinguished guests, we have friends, all kinds of people attending, and I'm particularly pleased to have been chosen to run this discussion. I wondered why Ambassador Manoa Esipisu, our former High Commissioner to London, asked me to do this. And I think I know why. It's because I love stories. And I love drawing out stories from people and hearing those stories. So I'm basically here to have a good time. I'm not at work. This is something I do with a passion. And who better to talk to and to hear stories from than Manu? You see, I had his age wrong. I thought he was 95, but he's actually moved on twice. He's just celebrated his 97th birthday. And yes, please give him a big clap. And we know the African tradition. You sit around a fire, and then Mzee tells you stories. So this is a fireside chat, and we're just about to hear some of the most incredible stories from a man who's been there, done that, lived it, loved, and we're so proud to have you here, Manu. Let me turn the microphone on for you. There you go, Manu. Habari gani?
Mzuri.
Unasikia baridi leo?
Kabisa.
Pole sana, pole sana, pole sana. Salimia watu, say a big hello to...
Hello, everyone. Now, the people who are sitting on the back, sitting is free here. You don't have to pay anything. Come on, move.
Yes, please.
Move some of them on the back.
I promise you, we do not bite. This is a friendly chat.
The light is so strong over here, I can hardly see the first line. Come on, move.
Yeah, we'd like to see your faces.
Women,
come on over.
Move.
Even those online, move closer to your screen. Get somewhere you can see us.
Nation will feel they're having a meeting and nobody was there. Come on, move.
Yes, come on.
It's a migration time, come on.
So you can see, Manu wants to see you. We all want to see you. So please, come forward. Let the latecomers go to the back. Quietly.
Who want to sleep can be on the back.
If you want to sleep.
Otherwise, all come in the front. Some of them are still not moving. Come on, ladies.
Some people are just too shy. Please, come forward.
This is your country. Come on, man. Come on, women. In front.
I think Manu was a prefect in school. He must have been a prefect in school. All right,
Yeah,
so...
but I can't convince some of the... God, look at that. Still thinking about it.
Please, please. Move
We don't
forward.
charge anything. Come on, move. And again, sitting down.
Okay. All right, I
Okay,
think
that's fine. Thanks.
pretty much, yeah,
Thanks,
everyone
thanks.
is seated.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Manu, I spoke with you in Kiswahili just to show people what a diverse background you have. So Manu is actually an African of Indian origin. He was born in Kenya. He has been educated in several continents, Africa, India, the United States, has a British citizenship, Kenyan citizenship. So, I mean, Manu, is it confusing for you? How do you identify? Who are you? How do you think about that?
My name is Manu Chandaria, if you've not heard about him. My father was three vernacular. No speak English, no write English, no answer anything in English. No speak, read or write. My mother was illiterate. She never went to school. And at the age of 54, we decided that she should at least write some alphabet of my own language, Gujarati. And she was good, she did it. So that's the product that I am of. But the willingness and determination is what made me who I am. And each one of you can do the same. So, Manu Chandaria, born in Nairobi in 1929. Many of you are not even born. Nairobi used to be very cold. And some of us in the earlier time lived in Jumba, Mabati.
Oh. Amazing, amazing. A big round of applause for Manu. So Manu is one of us. He was born here, as were most of us, and he grew up here. He's been in many, many different places, and one thing he doesn't feel is intimidated. So when he went to Mumbai, I was reading his story. In fact, I recommend this book to you. It's a wonderful book, a story of his life. And it talks about him going to study in Bombay and comparing Bombay and Nairobi. And then later on, he compares London with Nairobi and Bombay, and then New York. So he's been to these places, but every time he went there, he thought, look, if this place can be like this, why can't we do that? Manu, you were never afraid about that. You always felt we could do whatever anyone else can do. Just tell us a bit about that.
Well, I think in Kenya, during the wartime, my family decided it was the Hitler joining hands with Mussolini of Italy. And there is Italian Somaliland. So the idea was to conquer Africa through Somalia. It was Italian Somaliland. And so the family from Asian community said that we don't like war, let them go. And so most of us were sent out to India. It is my family in 1940 was sent out to India. And when I went in a ship and saw Mumbai from a distance with lots of lights, when I reached up to the shore, I was surprised. Wow. Houses about 10 or 11 stories high, tram running on the roads, double-decker buses, and I was challenged. Remember word challenged. My God, what's wrong with us? I looked like them, while in Nairobi there were 2 buildings of 2 stories. What's wrong with us? And that really shook me. That it is all possible. It's up to you if you want to. If you don't want to, some of you people are sitting on the backside. That's okay. But to lead, you got to come in front. To lead, you got to show your mettle. If you can't, then you will be always a follower. So India shook us. And 4 years in India was a great story for me, because we didn't have 20 cents, Kenyan 20 cents, to go to school in what you call in a horse cart. We ran 2.5 kilometers. When I hear the story that people run over here for schooling in the country, we ran, and this was not very far, it was 1940, to save that 20 cents. But it was an experience. For 4 years in India, made us to understand, wow, we know nothing really. And the first time in my life, I started reading. First time. So many books, so many authors. And I wanted to be absolutely knowledgeable about what was going in India. And those 4 years of Indian high school gave me some of the best lessons. You don't have to be anything. Most of us are not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. But you can. You can be someone if you want to be. And this is the first lesson. Please, nothing is impossible if you want to make it possible. Everything is impossible if you don't want to make it possible. And to me, Indian experience of those 4 years shook me. That what is poverty, I saw. What is villages, I saw. What are the people who are sick and tired, I saw. But every time I saw something, I felt, hey, am I going to only see or learn from them? Again, the word learn. If you're not prepared to learn from your experiences, then you will always, oh, I know it. I know it all. Please remove it from your head. And that was the one that gave us the grounding. There were only 2 pair of clothes for the school and 1 pair of the clothes for the house. That's it. We all slept on the ground. At night, we slept, children together one by one. We played cricket on the streets by putting 3 lines on the wall. It was an experience which was very different than what the experience in Kenya, for me at least. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot of humility in that 4 years. because it was a state of Maharajas. It was not a republic at that time. You can see the top and the richest and the mightiest, and you see on the bottom. And that gave me an example, an idea that we should remove that distance as much as we can. And that's the mission that I probably took over without unknowingly. When I finished my high school, I went to university in Mumbai. And I spent 4 years in Mumbai. Mumbai is a great city, but it has got both sides. It's got all the richness, both money-wise, both education-wise, both knowledge-wise, by industry, everything. And it's the most poorest. Our slums are better than what I saw the slums in India. Now they're really coming out of it quite a bit. And India, again in university, it gave me another example. Going home and seeing Mummy never went to school. And every time our parents were so determined, what may happen? Our children should study, get the best of education. Remember, some of you are sitting over here because your parents think the same way. The best of education they should get, and the best of life they could build. So it gave us an idea, and 5 o'clock in the morning, Papa will say, get up. Though the school was at 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you get ready 5:30, 5:30 to 6:30, up to 7, you study. They would not know whether I'm reading a comic or reading a storybook or I'm reading a textbook. But that attitude, I want my children to be someone, though we didn't get any opportunity.
Actually, Dr. Manu, maybe you can tell us about that, about your father, because your father and your mother were really pushing you to be educated. Tell us a bit about them. Tell us about your father coming here, why education was so important for him.
My father came to this country in 1916. And he started as a clerk, not as a clerk, but a shop attendant. And after 6 months, and at that time the story was, as soon as a young man comes into the town, somebody will take him for his shop and say, sleeping, eating at the owner's home, 3 meals a day, sleeping in the shop, and 18 hours of work. At 12 o'clock, the shops used to be closed, and they'll open up what they call Americani, the grey cloth rolls. Take 5 blankets, not 1, not 2, and next morning at 5:30 get up. By 6:30 they should be ready to start work. Go to take a breakfast, come back and start work. And at the end of 6 months, he asked his boss, "What's my salary?" And he said, "Oh, wonderful. You are a nice worker. Everybody likes you. Our client likes you. I will give you," it was
it 20?
I think it's for 6 months, less than 90 rupees. Many of you might not know even that Kenya had a rupee as a currency until 1923. So he saw, my God, I spent already that amount of money. In India it is a hot climate. In Kenya it's cold climate. I spent money on making a coat and a trousers, and you are now giving me enough that I've already spent. And he's decided nothing doing. I will not go back. I will start my own work. And started a shop in Ngara. Many of you have gone to Ngara. Yeah. And in the first year of hard work, at the end of the year, he made 4,000 rupees. So, nothing happens automatic. Everything has to be pursued. And this was a classical example of many Asians who came over here, work for a few months or a year or so, go and set up again. And that's why we all had in Kenya, you go to smallest places in Kenya, you would see a duka. And the word dukawala came from that. And at 12 o'clock night, if you knock the door, it will open up. And all you want is a matchbox. They'll sell you. They'll sell you. Remember the commitment towards being someone, commitment to earn a living was so much that doesn't make difference. At 12 o'clock at midnight, somebody says, hey, I want a matchbox. Here it is.
So we can actually see where all this comes from. So the hard work, you've heard about Manu's father and the kind of times that he used to keep. And Manu himself is known for working very hard, waking up early in the morning, working till late. We see the work ethic there. But we also see the business acumen. Once the father realized that he couldn't make as much money as he needed for his own needs and to send back to the family in India, he decided the way to go was business. And this is something that we've seen Manu and the rest of his siblings taking up as well, going into business. Now back to school, Manu. I was reading your biography and the dates were kind of shocking me. When did you go to university? You were very young. How old were you when you finished high school and then went to study engineering?
I finished my high school at about, I think it was 12 or 13 years old. And I spent my 4 years after that at the university in Mumbai. I think by about 18, I went to United States to do my first degree in engineering. And then I did my master's in engineering. By the time when I came back, I was 21 years old.
With a master's in engineering?
After my master's in engineering.
It makes some of us wonder. And this is back then when people went to school older, but in Manu's case, they were sent to school early, they were made to work hard. By 21, he has an undergraduate and has a master's from the University of Oklahoma in engineering, which is not an easy profession. How was it, Manu? Was it hard? Was it easy?
No. Anything that you want to achieve is never easy. If it's easy, then I think everybody would be what the Vice Chancellor is. Some of the people who are sitting in the front row over here. It's not easy to achieve anything without hard work. With hard work requires honesty, integrity. If you don't have those two items, three items: hard work, honesty, integrity. And something you want to do, not you should do, not somebody is asking you to do. You want to do. You want to be someone. Then, yes, it's a possibility.
Well, it's about the values, isn't it? The values that you espouse. Just before we started, we were having a fantastic conversation with Manu and with Francis Okello, who was former chair. Barclays has been with the media. And he was telling me when he met Manu on a flight to Mombasa 35 years ago, Manu gave him a card, and on the back of the business card were his values. And there were family values, the things that were most important to him. And Francis Okello was surprised. You know, here's a corporate figure in Kenya, and he's putting the most important things to him at the back of his card so that he can see it all the time and he can remind people what he stands for. Now, I'm curious about those values. They've clearly driven you. A value is a belief that is so deep that it actually controls you. It controls your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. That's why we talk about values. And these values don't come out of nowhere. You must have learned them from somewhere. Was it your family? Was it the education? Was it the religion that you were pursuing? We'd really like to know about those values that have grounded you all these years.
Well, originally we didn't have anything piece of paper. After a while, we started why we are different than others in our businesses. In the Biashara street, there were a line of shops. Why my company was different than the others. And then we found out that this is because there is a unity in the family. We are 55 members in a joint family. Today, on average, I get married, I don't like my parents, I want to get out, and I'm on my own. You can never build. To build, you require a mass. People who can think the same way, feel the same way, execute whatever they have to do in the same way. Then you can build, not once. From one little shop in Gara, we are today in 35 countries. Not impossible. It's a possibility. But for that you require a huge amount of discipline. Love for your family. Love for each other. And each of my brother and myself and my cousins, they're not of the same caliber, all of them. Some likes to sit just like on the back seat. And some chose to come in the front. It's your choice. And so, to love each other, to look after each other, and then not only looking after each other, but looking better, looking best for the others. And from there starts what call is giving, not taking. All our life we do like this. It takes a long time of understanding that the world needs few people like this. This turning of hand from receiving to giving is what you should all be doing. You might not succeed, but try. Put effort, and you'll be surprised. Because there's no competition there. Competition is here, but not there. For giving, there are very few. Very, very few. This. The other thing we kept on looking after is how can we be useful to others? Me, I for me. No. I for all of us. I need to extend my hand of help, friendship, advice. It should remain in my pocket. It should be available. And this is the best way of cultivating a family life. And each one of them, there cannot be any different. My elder brother might not be doing the same as I'm doing. Doesn't make difference. He's a human being, I'm a human being. His needs are there, my needs are there. Equality in the family, as much as possible. Because I'm smart and the other one is not smart, or I'm dull and the other is smart, I don't want to take any advantage. Yes, advantage of giving, not taking. And I think that these principles are very simple, but very difficult to put in life. We can always, I want to be honest, but it's not easy. Please remember, some of you, it's not easy. You got to stand on many a times on an edge to convince yourself, is it right? Is it wrong? And the distance between right and wrong is up to here. You think the way you want to. But right is always right. And wrong is always wrong. But you can convince yourself, no, wrong is right. So please, the values that we put into that is to look after each other, and not only looking after each other, but looking after the society, looking after others who have no reason for you. While walking, somebody wants help, yes, you stop. Help. So it's a matter of cultivating the ideology of togetherness. I'm not only for me, I'm for you, and you are for me. This is the principle behind this.
That's an amazing summary of what drives Manu Chandaria. Quite often when you have a session like this, people say it's a PR session, you're trying to look good. But in this case, we're looking at reality. So I've been reading Manu's story, and when he talks about making sacrifices for the family, giving, it's real. He had all that education at 21, has his master's, and that's the time to take off on your own and make a career for yourself. But he literally had to give that up together with his siblings in order to help the family business, because they looked back and saw our parents did the same for us. This is now our turn. We can't just run away when we're needed. So we're looking at real cases, real sacrifices that he's made over the years because of that principle that you have to give. And I think if there's one thing that we're taking away here, and I believe in the connection between the body and the spirit. So the rituals that you'd go through with your body will speak to your spirit. So for instance, if we now learn this thing of, am I going to do like this? Is that my default? Begging, looking at my needs? Or will I be among the few who are looking to give. And we've just been told by Manu, there's no competition there. There are very few people who want to do this. So maybe as a ritual every day, just when you wake up in the morning, just, do like this. And maybe that'll remind you of what you're supposed to be. Now, Manu, this thing of giving, because you're known as a philanthropist, when did it wake up in you? Was it a moment? Was it something gradual over time? When did this principle start operating in you, that I have to give? Where did that come from?
When I was in the United States, there are so many, I think about 360, 70, 80 trusts and foundations in the United States. So when I came back over here, during the war, my family lost almost all the wealth because they were in speculation in India, and we lost a lot of wealth. So when we came back over here, we had one plant, manufacturing plant, Kalu Works, making sufuriyas, employing 40 people and 6 members of the family on top. And we had one provision wholesale shop here in Biashara Street. These were the 2 businesses. I was the junior engineer as soon as I joined Kalu Works. So when we became 100 after 40, in about a year and a half time, or 2 years' time, I asked all of us younger people, went to our parents and asked my father, how about setting up Chandaria Foundation? And he looked at me, because I was a spokesman. He said, something wrong with you? And I said, Papa, what's wrong with me? He said, you have stayed too long in the United States. Hey, I said, I've lived 2.5 years, or just about 2.5 or 3/4. He said, listen, man, we have a hall here, 36 members of the family at home. Fill this up first, then talk about foundation. I said, Papa, listen, we are not saying that we're going to be give. If we create wealth, condition, if we create wealth, then that wealth should not only be for us, but it should be also for the part of it for the society. But he was not prepared to listen. When we became 400 people after 4 years in 1956, or 5 years, he came back and said, I like the idea of Chandaria Foundation. That was not bad. I said, you told me that you just get to work. But you're now from 40, you're now 400 people or 500 people. You have been at work. And I give you 10% of my company to foundation. This is as early as 1956, when we didn't have the money anyway. But we had a track record from 40 people, we made in 5 years 500 people, or 450 people, something. Nothing happens in the life unless you show results. I am good. I can boast about it, but I cannot prove. People want the proof. The world wants proof. What you are, what you have been able to do. They'll only see results. They'll not see your face. Just because you are nice. No. They want to see you, your contribution. What are you doing? How best you are performing. You go to a bank and say, no, I'm going to do next year. Hey, sorry, nothing next year. What you did this year, we'll decide whether we should give an extra overdraft or not, an extra loan or not. Performance is the best way of finding out how far you are, how much you are, and what kind of capacity you have. So I think that it's easy, but charity begins at home. This is an English proverb. And it took us years before you understand what does it mean charity begins at home. The classical example of my 55 members of my joint family. I might be smart and my brother might not be. And my cousin might be even smarter than me. But to see it equally and accept it, this is difficult. Because we are all in race in this world. I want to be better than you. And he wants to be better than him. And it's nice, because that is the growth. More you think about like that, more you will grow. Because it puts the challenges on you, pushes you. And so the Chandaria Foundation started with one scholarship. And thank God that it has flourished and has done well. Except that a bad news for Amref little bit. This lady, she is building a new university. Amref University opposite Kenyatta University. And they wrote to us about any support that we can give. And we said yes. And then my secretary or somebody, how it happened, but there was a mistake in the figures. So, ma'am, I'm sorry, you lost 10 million Kenya shillings today. I promised for 50, but it was supposed to be 40. Now, think about Amref. Think about Amref. The thought, the idea, the way the people worked, the way the people supported, where are they? From opposite the national, I think, entrance of the national park. They're building a university. Because they felt that health sciences require some more effort, more institutions. There you are.
Well, you've given us some deep life lessons there. One is about giving, and just you give first. You don't wait until you feel you're ready to give. I finally am rich enough to give. You have the vision even before you become rich. And one thing I believe in, and many people do as well, is what is called the law of attraction. That the universe, God, will conspire to make you succeed once you declare what you want to do, if what you want to do is good. So who would you reward? Somebody who wants to help people, or somebody who wants to help himself? So once you declare, I want to help people, then everything should help you to succeed. And that's one thing that you've shown us. But in order for you to succeed, you have to be competent. You have to be really good at what you do. And that's what Manu has told us. It's not about browbeating, saying I'm good. You actually have to prove it. Frantz Fanon used to say, the tiger does not cry out, I'm a tiger, I'm a tiger. It actually just jumps, and then you'll know it's a tiger. So if you want to succeed, don't just talk about it, prove it. So bring your competence, show us. There's somebody who used to work in Strathmore, a businessman, Raul Figueroa, and he has this principle when people tell him what they can do. He just uses 2 words, show me. So show me where you've done it, demonstrate it, and then I'll believe. So those are 2 principles that we're learning from you, Manu. We start giving even before we have, and then we will get it. And for you to do it, to succeed, you really have to be good, you have to be competent, and you have to work hard. Now, before I bring others to ask questions, I wanted to go a bit deeper into your philanthropic life. What are these causes that attract you? There's so many problems in the world. How did you choose the ones that you went into?
Well, we have chosen 3 fields: education, health, and disability. In these 3 fields, we will support, or we'll look at it, or we would like to do something about it. There are so many other. Today, I think there was somebody I was reading, my daughter was reading a letter. Somebody wants to spend 2 billion Kenya shillings to create a Mau forest restoration program, something. Well, we cannot do it because it's not, the Chandaria Foundation has got no capacity to do it, number 1. And number 2, it's an ideology. And it's the duty of the government to really do something about it. So, when you go somewhere and think something which you can't do, please accept it. But don't leave it to put effort. If you can't do it, one can understand. But you don't stop effort and say, no, I'm not going to do now. The word I and we, in my family and for my nation, I is the most difficult word, and it is what you call, it is you go your own way. So there are 100 people or 200 people sitting here, each goes their own way. We means we go together. And that builds. That's a force. So this I just wanted to, and the one word again, cheat. Easy to cheat. Everything easy to cheat. But you cannot cheat yourself. Believe in this. And you feel so happy, oh my God, I cheated him. But consciously, you're hurting yourself. Anyway, just what is the question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, so I actually have so many questions, and
okay.
But I want to really emphasize what you've said about the truth. And one of the biggest challenges you can give yourself is to just commit to the truth. It will be painful. There will be moments when it's easier to lie and to take advantage, and you seem like you lose everything if you decide to say the truth. But remember what we said earlier, the universe will conspire to make you succeed if your wishes for the world are good. So just believe that because I want to help the world and I have to be a truthful person, it might look like a bad strategy, but it's going to work. Now, Manu, before I put it to the audience to ask questions, you've been told I love music and I love sports, and I wanted to to get a bit into your passions. And I understand you could have become a great golfer, but then there's a day you came and you told the family you were going to play. Oh, tell us about the golf career that you might have had. And we have golfers here. We have Dr. Njenga, I think Francis Edward Mungai. We have lots of Jeffrey Odundo. So tell us about the golfer you might have become and why that didn't happen.
My wife's brother, we both were in Mombasa. He went to UCLA, but after me. And he started playing golf in Mombasa. And so they talked about golf. You know, they talk more about golf than they play about golf. So I thought, I asked myself, if I want to be with this league, I must also play golf. So I decided to play golf. At that time, there was apartheid in Kenya. And somehow, I think it was Standard Bank manager from UK, one of the managers was transferred to Mombasa. And we had our first loan of 25,000 sterling loan, pounds. My father believed, never borrow anything. Keep money in the bank, that's okay. But no borrowing. And it took us about a few years to explain to him that nothing happens unless you want to grow, you got to put something. And if you don't have anything in the pocket, you do what? You borrow. So he knew me, and he made me a member of the Pwani Golf Club, which is on the lighthouse. There was no member, there was no African or Asian member. And he said, if you don't make this man a member, I'll stop Standard Open golf tournament. So every year they support golf tournament in a big way. So he said, I'll stop it. So I became a member. And then I discussed with one European, I think, coach, that I want to learn. Now, very small company at that time, at 10 o'clock we'll all get together as a family and our managing directors or managers, and at the factory at 10 o'clock to 10:30, half an hour, have a coffee, discuss issues. So I did not go for Wednesday because I went to take my lesson for Wednesday. So then my brother was the managing director, eldest brother. Hey, how come this man is not there today? But then he was very patient. Thursday again I didn't disappear for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Friday he called me. We met together. I was gone there. And I said, what's wrong with you? Where have you gone? Nobody knows you where you went. If you want to go out and do something, tell us so we know. We don't look for you. So I said, I'm taking golf lessons. He said, what? Golf? I said, yes. He said, that little ball, and you are trying to put into the little hole? Man, you must have better understanding. There's a big hole here. Fill it up first, and then talk about golf. And that was my first and the last attempt to play golf.
Thank you very much, Manu. We might have had a golf champion that we never had. So I'd like to open it up now to the audience, both here and online, if someone can get me the questions. we will probably have somebody going around with a microphone, so please put up your hand. And we'd like to now engage with the audience. It's a fireside chat, and I'm sure you have questions as well. I have plenty of questions, so if you don't put up your hands, I can go on until the studio tells me it's time to. So, yeah, so in the middle there, please
Allow me to, I'm supposed to be supplying the microphone, but I also have a question at the same time.
Ooh,
so it's a difficult
conflict
one.
of interest.
Yes. So I'll make it very quick.
Very quick. Questions, short and sharp.
Almost everyone who is a prominent personality starts a foundation, and we don't know what happens to those foundations later. Does Dr. Manu have any thoughts, perspectives on how to sustain that? That's my question.
Okay, so people start foundations, but they might not continue. Do you have advice on how to build a good foundation that will last?
Anything done with intention and no action, nothing works. Intentions are always good. Foundations are created to do good work. But you don't pay any attention to them. There's no use. Don't do it if you can't do it. It means if you cannot really manage to do something good. Now, doing good for others is a very difficult question. To create a foundation is very easy. You got 10 million shillings, you put it in, start a foundation. But then to do good besides myself, very difficult. You must have that mental attitude that I can do good to myself, but when am I going to extend that hand to other who is suffering, who needs more education, who is disabled? How can I do it? That attitude and feeling is the basic philosophy of a foundation, not creating a foundation. You can create a foundation, 10 foundations tomorrow, but doing no work for what it is made. Articles of association will define. Foundation articles will define what you need to do, but nobody is going to ask you whether you did it or not. Your own conscience will tell you, hey man, you created a foundation. For what? To show to the public and do nothing. That's cheating. That's cheating to the community, not cheating you and me. But the intentions of the foundation is to do good to the society, for the society. If you can't do it, what's the point? No point in that.
Thank you very much. So you've brought up authenticity at least twice. So saying the truth, not lying to yourself, and then not lying to others. So you're not building the foundation to look good. You really do want to do good and to help others. So a question, there was a question right in the middle there.
I have a question.
He had his hand up. So let me just, because I had pointed him out a lot earlier, and then I'll come to you. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. I think, Mr. Vincent, you keep on forgetting, but this is one of the several events you have invited us. So to Manu, I'm personally one person who has benefited from your education programs. Let me say the empowerment at the University of Nairobi. I'm a student doing law, but majority of the time I get ample and good space when I study at a section his foundation helped build at the university library. In education matters, you have given us 3 principles of hard work, honesty, and integrity. It is good that you help the students join university. Our theme today is purpose, leadership, and legacy. How then are we able to capitalize on the university students we have to mop up into leaders that will be able to bring this university? Why am I saying this? We were with Mr. Vincent here when EACC brought an event here where they were speaking on corruption. In my laptop, we have 26 emails we sent to them, but out of the messages we all sent, you are the one who only answers. How are we building these leaders? We are doing the education part. Are we able to help students who want to aspire in leadership to begin small enough and mop up into people who will help this country? Because Manu is here. He will not live to see my grandchildren, but I will live to see his. How are we able now to integrate and form a web that will be able to help needy students like me, who, from where I come from? With this, we then now help and build a foundation for our nation to come up.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Dr. Manu, how can we create leaders out of the students that we're trying to help?
Repeat again.
How can we create leaders out of the students that we're trying to help? How can we teach them leadership so when they graduate, they are leaders? How do we help the students? Yes, in universities to become future leaders. What should we be doing?
Well, I think that there are two ways of, at least we principally only believe in, though we have some support to the student for scholarships. For 35 years or 40 years, we are having 150 children in the high schools, some 30, 40 children in the university. But you know, the problem of education and in Kenya is not small. And number one. And number two, need is for everyone, more or less. So you cannot meet. If you've got one slum, you can attend. But if you've got 10 slums in one city, it's very difficult to touch it. It requires a whole change of attitude of the community, of the nation. So it's not easy to support. But what we have supported, like, let me give you an example. Innovation Center. We started with Kenyatta University, then we went to Methodist University, then we were going to the Nairobi University, then we went to the Daystar University, because all the people in you graduate, you wear that black jacket and black coat, and here there's the first time you see these artificial garlands. You call your papa and mommy and have a dinner. Next day again you are in Busia. Doing what? No opportunity in Busia for you after doing your engineering or IT or whatever you have done. And there are more than 3 million youth facing streets today in Kenya. Whose fault is this? Ours. Without creating opportunity, we keep on giving the education, and people go, parents go halfway hungry to feed, to make sure that their children go to university. But then what? So to me, you can take a cow to the water, but you can't make her to drink. If she wants to drink, she'll drink. So to me, it's a question that Innovation Center was created specifically for the people who would like to do something, train themselves for 6 months there, make a prototype, work there for 6 months, and if they do it okay, go and build their own. Be an employer not an employee. And so we decided that as many universities we will be able to help them, let them help. And it's not a permanent sitting over there. They work for 6 months, they will establish everything, because it's an environment of the university. He's not in the environment of Busia, where there's hardly anything that can make him do something. So we thought that that might be a good idea. The second question that I wanted to tell you, many years back when we started, Nairobi University was the only university in Nairobi, in Kenya. There were two constituent colleges. One was Kenyatta, another was Egerton. This was the only educational facility we had. But Nairobi University always had a good drama festivals. And the drama team will go to the hinterland. They'll go to the villages and towns and show the talent. It's not the talent, it's to pass the message. So we thought, now it's not happening. There used to be little theater club in most of the big towns. Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, but they're not going anymore. So I thought that let me build a center of performing arts in Nairobi University, so they can continue the tradition of dramatic students and other students to go back and show what can be done, where we are and where we should be, something like that. But it's used at the lecture hall. 500 sitting theater. So up to us to make it productive, it's up to us. To do a facility is easy, but to make something out of it, work, it's very difficult. So I think in education, there are ways and means that you can do, but these are only some examples. There are many other examples. Let me give you another example which is very interesting in education. You know, President Ruto decided, I don't know how many billions of trees. He wants by 2035 or something.
15 million.
It's just big thing. So we said it's impossible to achieve unless everybody is prepared to do something about it. So it struck to my idea, to my thought that let me build a tree nursery in schools. And the first year we built 9. Second year we built another 9, 18. Each nursery can produce 50 to 70,000 plants. At the end of the day, we can have 1 billion plants. Not a promise, happening. And children in the schools, it's my plant. I created it. And I would say, it's Manu Chandaria's plant. It's Preeti Chandaria's plant. It's George's plant. To have some responsibility and ownership. Now, next year again, we are putting another 9 or 10. In 10 years' time, we will have at least what we call some understand somewhere where we can produce, not complete X amount billions of trees. But those children who go home, again make very sure that they will continue to grow plants because they got the know-how, some understanding why they should be doing it. And why should be doing it is the most essential part, not the tree nursery. It's their responsibility. If the climate has to be good for this country, it's your responsibility as younger people. So it's an idea and a thought, one can do something about it.
Yeah. Wonderful life lessons there. Start with the why. You know, once you know why you need to do something, then you have the intentionality to actually make it happen. And a good challenge for those of us in the education industry, we have Professor Mwendan Tarangwi, Vice Chancellor, USIU here. We have Desta Lakeo from Amref University. So a good challenge for us to make the facilities do what they're supposed to do, what they were intended to do by the donors and all the people who helped us to build them, but also a challenge to the students, because he said you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So you're given all these opportunities. What do you make of those opportunities? So we're now coming to the end. I'm going to just have two very quick questions. There was one, and you'll take like 30 seconds, and then there was one yes from Francis here, and then we'll wind up because we have 4 minutes to go off here. So remember, 30 seconds or less. Thank you.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Warren Mashini. I represent a company called Infuyo. It's an agri-fintech, and we help farmers. We empower farmers through education and finance. And one of the things you mentioned, you mentioned your foundation does, Mr. Manu, was education, health, and disability. So my question to you is, how can we plug in to the foundation? Like, how do we pitch? How do we approach you guys so that you can help us? Because you're in agriculture, and agriculture has like a lot of challenges. So how can we approach the Chandaria Foundation for assistance?
All right, so I'm going to summarize all the questions. So that's one. I'm not seeing ladies. Where are the ladies in the room? Yeah, there's a lady here in the middle. And then we'll come to Francis. So just ask your question.
You got up to do something.
Finally.
So many over here, but
Okay.
all closed mouth.
Okay, so
Okay.
ask your question, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. My question is around leadership. How do we migrate from voice to change, even when leading young in big corporations or big entities? How do we migrate from voice to change when leading young mostly? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then Francis. Okello.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to see Dr. Chandaria at close range. I'm glad that I had that flight with him 40 years ago that changed my life in terms of understanding ethical leadership and what integrity is all about. Manu, I had always wanted to ask you this question. In your corporate life, what has been the lowest and the highest moments for you? That's one. Two, in your autobiography...
So these are baby questions.
Those are very quick. We have 3 minutes.
In your autobiography, you regret not having gone to a business school. You went to engineering school and succeeded in being an engineer, but you regret why you did not go to a business school. Why is that so? What does your journey tell us about the kind of education we get that puts us into silos, and then when we are thrown into the real world, we face problems that are very multidimensional, and we feel like maybe there's something missing. What does your journey tell us about the regret you have having been an engineer? Although
Okay.
I see a lot of engineering in you,
All right.
precision and focus, but what does that journey tell us?
Okay, fantastic. So, Manu, I'll prompt you on any question you might not have gotten, but we have the one about how to reach out to Chandaria Foundation if someone has issues on agribusiness that needs help. And we've been asked by the lady, how do we get companies to move from just voice to actually change and doing something? And then we have two questions from Francis here. your highest and lowest moments in corporate, and why did you say you regret not having gone to business school? So let's take as many as we can, but we only have about 2 minutes.
Again, the memory is also, everybody, one advice, don't cross 90 years. You can see the problem with a 97-year-old person.
Almost 100.
Okay, the first one.
So the first one, how do people who want to do something in agribusiness connect to Chandaria
Manu
Foundation?
Chandaria Foundation, box 50826, 00200, Nairobi.
And you can Google it.
Write a letter and deliver at 95 Limuru Road. Please remember, we do not support any individual issues. I'm sick, my bill is this, my children need studies, my school fees. We don't. Individual, not allowed. Institution, yes.
So that's to have change at scale, not just an individual level, but at a much bigger level, so they only support institutions. What about, how do we get companies to move from just speaking, voice, to actually changing something?
In the past, there was very interesting, some of the Swiss banks have interest in Kenyans, because Kenyans have interest in Swiss banks because they put their money there. So now the Swiss banks, after a number of years, decided that the first generation worked hard. The second generation created the wealth. The third generation will use it in the right way or the wrong way. It could be both ways. So they used to come over here once in a while and organize a meeting by knowing that either you expand in your businesses, number one, and or you expand in your philanthropic work, giving work, so that the money is not used in just enjoying life. Because they felt that many families cleared the money which is lying in the bank by enjoying and throwing out parties and whatnot. So there were attempts by them that please, so they asked Manu Chandaria, come and talk. Aga Khan Foundation, come and talk. And that is the way you can propagate. But now, the Kenyans are making good money, so they've forgotten giving.
All right, and then finally from your friend Francis Okello of 35 to 40 years ago, what are your high and low moments as an industrialist, and why did you want to go to business school?
Well, I came back to, I lived in Mombasa. My parents sent me to Burundi for a year. And in Burundi is a very interesting place. We had only 20 people working. 20 people. I would go in the morning and open the factory and give them and we had one press of making sufuriyas. Look at them, the raw material, and close the factory and go to the bank, or clearing, or whatever is necessary. That 20 people factory made more money than Kalu worked in Mombasa. Surprising. Now, the issue that I'm drawing, that moments of joy, moments of achievements, you feel, wow. But then I went to Kampala, and this is another story which is interesting. From 1932, there is a competitor in Kampala of an Asian community which has been competing with Color Works, which was started in 1929, just like my age. And it probably the first company will make 100 years before long. So he would not allow us to sell anything in Uganda. And Uganda was the biggest market for Kenya. Kenya was market, but Uganda was bigger market because they produce cotton, they produce oil seeds, they produce oil, they produce sugar, I don't know, so many tea, so many things. Prosperous. So I was told that why don't you go and sell something there. Now when we were making sufuriyas, you can at that time only sell in a container, of a train container, which will take 4,000 or 5,000 sets of aluminum sufuriya. Now when we go over there and say, my price is 325, my competitor will come and say, hey, come on, why do you want to buy 50 sets? Buy five sets at 3 shillings. I was really taken aback. I was not a salesman. I told my papa, I said, hey, I'm an engineer. You are sending me to do a job for marketing, and I don't know how to do it. He said, when would you learn? Go. So I went over there. Preeti was only 2-year-old. I went over there, and my job every morning, get ready at 9 o'clock, go to the bazaar, and attend to every shop I knew. Hello, how are you? Fine, thank you. Nothing else, only building name. And they were so fed up. My clients were fed up with the local man. So every time I went over there, you know, my son has got a problem of education. Can you suggest what university? Can you suggest how to go about it? I have a problem of income tax. Can you suggest what I should do? ABC, stories of their family issues, their tax issues, their marketing issues, everything. I'll sit, listen, and see what I can advise. And I became very popular amongst them because they hated the man who was selling them. And they liked me because I couldn't sell them anything. And they don't have to be obliged. They just only say, this is a nice man. He knows more about so many things. Let's ask him questions. Then I bought 2 warehouses and brought number of trucks over there and said, come on now, you sell at 325, 5 sets, even people who want 2 sets can take it at 3 shillings. In 3 months' time, he raised his hand. He said, Mr. Manu, sorry, we will die, both of us. I said, yeah, you will die here because this is where you're operating. I'm only bringing few sets from Mombasa. But your industry will die completely. So slowly, he realized. He said, okay, I will give you 25% of the market, and you keep, and I'll keep 75%. I said, nothing doing. 50-50. We are older than you, 1929. You're 1932. 50-50. Are you prepared? He said, no. Another month went, and you know, they're losing like hell. I have to only sell 1 container, and he has to sell his total products. So finally he came down to sell and signed the agreement. 50-50. Our goods will come, the goods will come. First time in life, Color Works started making profit in Uganda. Then I came back to Mombasa. And we have another competitor in Mombasa. Never allowed us to make any money. He loses or he makes very little and we make very little. Not allowed to make money. Again, I explained to them that, look, if you want to make, but now I have the strength. Because anything that I went to Uganda, I made money. So I was quite happy. So this fellow said, no, no, no. Finally we agreed and became one. So it was not a what they call competition, yes, because the competition from outside, but no competition within. And we succeeded. And it was an interesting way how we managed, not being a marketing man, only being a man to use the head. How do I touch this fellow? How would I create some good relations with him? Relationships always gives you returns. You cannot go and buy. Good relationship always gives you return. Now, you know, when I came over here, I had a chairman, Sir Ernest Wasey. Some of you might know. Those crowd doesn't know anyway. He used to be the Minister of Finance here, of Kenya government. Julius Nyerere called him in 1960 and made him the Minister of Finance of Tanzania, of Tanganyika at that time. And he set up the Ministry of Finance and others and what we should be doing. He was watched by the World Bank. And in a year's time, the World Bank picked him up and put him the head of Pakistan, World Bank. He worked 5 years. Then he came back again here. It was the time, I think it was in 1900 and some can't remember the dates. But he came back over here. And he was at that time originally director of BATA, director of ARM, director of this bank, director of number of things. So he said, listen, but very person who has come out from England in a very, very poverty, big poverty. He said, I had to choose in England. Either I have a meal at night or I'll have a warm bed. If I take a meal, I have to sleep outside somewhere. If I don't, then I don't leave the mill. I can go and stay in some place where I can afford. Somehow he was called over here, but he was very good at acting. And he was an actor. So he came over here and became a manager or ticket collector at Odeon Cinema over here as a ticket collector. He started knowing the people who would come to see the shows, all the settlers who come from outside here, there. He used to teach. Then he knew exactly Mrs. Alexander would like that, this Mr. So-and-so like that, he is so-and-so will like that. He will make arrangement with his people to provide them during the interval, coffee, tea, pastry, whatever they want. And he became so popular, he stood for the election in the city council, and he was elected. In 5 years' time, he became the mayor of the town, city. The new city of Nairobi was designed by him. From New Stanley Hotel and onwards. Then the government decided that this is a good chap. Put him in he became Minister of Education, Minister of Health, and last portfolio was Minister of Finance. Subsequently, when he came back, he said, we used to go and take some advice from him when he was Minister of Finance, what we should be doing. And one of the best advice he gave, he said, you are a big family, good or bad, because of human nature, there will be fights within the family. It's better to grow out. So in 5 years' time, we set up a plant in Dar es Salaam, set up a plant in Uganda, set up a plant in Lusaka, set up a plant in Ethiopia. He said, diversify. Send your people out so that there is no concentration of all 15 Chandarias in one town. You will, if you don't, your wives. Somebody will fight. Better go. And we became Pan-African company in 5 years' time. It was walking on a sword's edge, because to run 5 countries, different languages, different economy, different laws and regulations was very difficult. So, but it went through well. Then in 1966, we had set up huge investments in Tanzania, and we started losing. And so I was sent to Tanzania. In 4 years' time, we made Tanzania a paying proposition. I felt, oh my God, wow, I'm a good manager. I can do good. But anyway, it was an interesting phase in our lifetime that then I came here. At that time, we had agreed that Sir Ernest will be our chairman. Now, think about this. Ego. My company, my family's companies, and I have a chairman who is an European. Who's going to accept it? I want to be chairman. My elder brother wanted to be chairman. But we accepted it because we knew the knowledge that this man has got, the influence this man has got, the advice this man has got, and the man has risen from nothing, from zero. But he went and became the chairman, head of Pakistan, of World Bank. He worked with us 17 years. And his advice, he said, when I came back from Dar es Salaam, I said, Mr. Kenyan government is too difficult. He said, listen, you cannot do, by talking, nothing will happen. Join an organization. So I joined KAM, Kenya Manufacturing Association. After a few years, I became the chairman. Then Ambassador Muthaura was the first man heading ESE. Asked me that, why don't you start an organization of all associations in the country? Commercial association, business association. So I started the KEPSA. I was the founding chairman of KEPSA. Now my job is not to start KM, run KM, start KEPSA. But then I started also East African Business Council for all of them. Now what does this suggest? That KEPSA is the overall body of all organizations in the country. Who started? Dr. Manu Chandaria. Who advised? Ambassador Muthaura. That was the height. Wow. And then, I think, Queen wrote a letter. The British High Commissioner wrote a letter. Queen would like to bestow on you an OBE, Order of the British Empire. Preeti and my wife all went to the Buckingham Palace, and in a haste on that day, I hit like that on a, this is beautiful here, but there was on the street, I hit and hurt myself here. So we went to Buckingham Palace, and Queen was to bestow. So we were given half an hour message, don't speak until spoken. Don't speak a word until spoken. Have you got it? Every 2 minutes, don't speak until spoken.
Yeah. Speak when spoken to.
So when I knelt down and she put up a pin of that OBE, and I got up and said, where you come from? I said, Your Majesty, I come from a place where you came as a princess and woke up as a queen. Oh, Sagana. Oh, Kenya. You first took Sagana straight away. And the T-top hotel. Oh, and this discussion went on for a few minutes. And some other items that we discussed. As soon as I got out, these fellows looked at me. Not to speak until spoken. No. Instead, they're telling me, I said, not to speak until spoken. She spoke to me, so I had to speak. So this was another. Then again, my Kibaki gave me the honor here. Uhuru gave another honor also here. So these are the places, times when...
And there was Carnegie as well. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Manu. Those were incredible lessons out of the question you asked. Building relationships and seeing how far they could go. And then a man who came as a ticketing officer in a cinema hall ends up being a mayor and a minister of finance in 2 or 3 different countries, and then advising the Chandarias. And so wonderful, wonderful lessons that you've given us. Maybe I'll give you just 1 minute if you were to just give a parting advice to the audience and the viewers. What would you want them to remember after today? I mean, how would you like to be remembered? What is the message you want to give to the world?
No, not on the front seat, but on the back seat.
This is for the people at the back seat.
Remember, nothing is impossible. You got to work for it. Nothing's going to come on your table and on your plate. Nothing starts without hard work, honesty, integrity, and feeling for Kenyans, feeling for our country. This is my country. You will be able to do something. But if you just want to enjoy, then you'll enjoy the rest of your life, and the country will become poorer than what it is today. You are the guys who can make the country build. Our times are over. It's you on who the country depends. And to understand the responsibility of country depends on you is very difficult. But think about it. What you can play to make Kenya the best country in East Africa.
Wow. Manu, on behalf of everyone here and the ones who are watching, this has been an incredibly good time. I started by saying I love stories, and that's why I accepted to just be the one drawing the stories from you. I've been really rewarded, not just with stories, but also with lessons, distilled over a period of 97 years. So this is wisdom just given to you in little nuggets that hopefully will help us to have a big impact in our lives wherever we go. So once again, join me in giving a huge round of applause to Manu Chandaria. Thank you very much.
Your Vice Chancellor talked about love story. My family, my wife's family and my family were partners for 40 years. But then they broke. And there was animosity. While Aruna was married to me, my elder brother was married to the elder sister of Aruna, and there was no relationship. And then when I came back from the United States, I started courting with Aruna. Nobody liked it. My family said, wow, what is wrong with you? And I used to get every evening ready by Kit Kat for 10 shillings and present it to Aruna. And this went on for 4 years. So many times you got to wait also. Nothing happened tomorrow. Finally, both the families got together and we got married.
So this is a Romeo and Juliet story made in Kenya. Two opposing families, two people in love from two families that are fighting each other. And the Romeo here, of course, is our very own Manu, and then Aruna is the Juliet. And the story has a happy ending. And they even had, when the Kenyan law changed and said traditional marriages were no longer recognized, so Manu did not want to be in an illegal situation. So he married Aruna again. Do you want to tell us? That was just a few years ago. You married her twice. Tell us about that.
Married her twice with the same woman.
Married twice to the same woman. So there was a big wedding ceremony just a few years ago at 90-something. So amazing. So once again, thank you, Manu. Thank you very, very much. Let's give him another round of applause. And now we'll hand it back to our able MC.
Thank you, Dr. Ogutu. I think they have another round of applause, isn't it? I'd like to...
Listen, these rounds of applause, I'll get swollen.
He says his head will get swollen with all the applause.
So I'd like to invite Ambassador Manoa Sipisu. He's been a partner in organizing this, so he can give us a vote of thanks. Welcome, Ambassador. Yes. So a round of applause for him as he comes on stage.
Thank you, Juliet. Purpose, leadership, legacy. 3 words that sound simple, but as you have heard, when fully lived, 3 words that can shape nations, that can transform lives, and can define how we are remembered. It's been such a pleasure for me to be back here at Strathmore for this very powerful conversation. I'm here on behalf of Voicing Africa, an organization that we are building that is dedicated to telling the African story in our own words. Our mission is to inform, to inspire, to spark, and to deepen conversations that elevate African voices and African stories. And our vision is to be the continent's leading platform for this type of thing: thought leadership, storytelling, and empowering a new generation of change makers. We want to thank our enthralling host, Dr. Vincent Ogutu, Vice Chancellor here, a visionary educator, a visionary mentor, and a visionary storyteller who believes in himself that purpose is the compass that should guide every life and every leader. Asante sana, Professor. And we want to thank Dr. Manu Chandaria. You've heard a lot of things about him as a respected industrialist, a respected philanthropist, and a man whose success is matched only by his generosity. A man with a legacy that has transformed communities through education, through healthcare, and through provision of opportunity. We really need to thank him for this, for his continued commitment to work here in Kenya, as well as in the region and elsewhere, to empower people from all walks of life, from every community, And from every sense of interaction, thank you very much. Another round of applause for you. Yeah, we want you to swell a little bit. Yeah. As you may attest to this was more than a chat. It was a chance to learn from two people who have shaped institutions, who have touched lives, and who clearly have left and continue to leave indelible footprints. Pretty much from wherever they passed through, you have to say these people have been here. They have been here before you can see, because you can see the change that they have left. As Manu was saying earlier, it's not about the drum beats, it's about the impact that you leave. So, and I want to thank you for making the time to be here. For those ones who have followed on television, for those ones who have been online, thank you for making the time. I hope you got something out of you. And for me, the most important thing is if you sit at the back, you aren't getting there. You have to move to the front in order to provide this country with the leadership it needs at a time such as this. Thank you and good afternoon. Thank you.
Well, I think we've come to the end of today's session. I hope you've had a very good time. If you agree, it's been good. It's been good. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hosting you again. I would like to say that we have come to the end of today. Feel free to leave at leisure. Thank you.
This way. Isuku Falls. Isiuku.